Hi friends, in this video we will see how to route calls on the basis of DDI numbers provided on ISDN lines. Please refer to our video, DDI Routing Part 1, before understanding this scenario. Let us take a scenario where service provider allocates 50 DDI numbers and DDI routing needs to be done according to following requirements. The first 20 DDI numbers are to be programmed in the sequence as the flexible numbers in the eternity. For incoming call on DDI number 341662221, it should route to built-in auto-attendant. The DDI number 341662241 is to be mapped to flexible number 300 of eternity. Similarly, the DDI number 341662242 and 341662243 are to be mapped with flexible number 333 and 343 respectively, configuring the first 20 DDI numbers. Log in to Jeeves in System Engineering mode and follow the steps as per explained in video DDI Routing Part 1. Following the same will fulfill our first requirement. For the second requirement, that is when an incoming call is received on 341662221 DDI number, it should route to built-in auto-attendant. In the T1E1 port parameters page, for the particular DDI number, that is 341662221, it is not mapped for incoming reference table so that it follows trunk feature template. Here, while making outgoing calls, if the mapped DDI number is to be displayed, then outgoing reference table is to be programmed with ISDN number 341662221. Click Submit to save. In the trunk feature template, assign template say 02. Please ensure that trunk feature template value should be other than 01, as assigning this value to template 01 will enable built-in auto-attendant for all programmed DDI numbers. Click Submit to save. Now click on the trunk feature templates, which will navigate to its page. In the trunk feature templates, select Built-in Auto-Attendant for WH, BH, and NH in the Auto-Attendant tab for template 02. Click Submit to save. Coming to the third requirement, that is the DDI number 34166222241, is to be mapped to flexible number 300 of eternity. Click on the outgoing OG reference ID, which will navigate to DDI routing, outgoing reference table. In OG reference ID, assign ID as 01 as this value is assigned on the T1E1 port parameters page. Here the table ID 1 and table 2 is already configured for the first 20 DDI numbers and DDI number 221 respectively, so configure table ID 3 for this requirement. Keep channel count as 30. In the ISDN number, program the installation number as provided by the service provider. In the DDI routing reference ID, assign value 03, as the DDI number which is to be mapped to the extension number is not in the sequence. Click Submit to save. Click on the DDI routing reference ID, which will navigate to the DDI routing table. In the DDI routing reference ID, assign value 03 in the table ID 3, as this value is assigned on the DDI routing outgoing reference table page. In the start DDI number, assign 241, as it is to be mapped to an extension. In total DDI number, program 1, as only one DDI number is to be mapped. In the DDI number of digit, program 2, as the DDI numbers supported by service provider are 50. In port type, give flexible num. Assigning flexible num allows extension number to be mapped with DDI number. In start DDI flexible number, assign 300 as extension number. Click Submit to save. Now again go to the T1E1 port parameters and click on the incoming reference ID for any of the time zones which will navigate to the DDI routing incoming reference table. On the DDI routing incoming reference table, assign incoming reference ID as 01 corresponding to the table ID for 2 as this value is assigned on the T1E1 port parameters page. Keep channel count as 30 for allowing 30 simultaneous calls routing to the system. In DDI routing reference ID, assign ID as 03 with respect to the table ID. The same DDI routing table will be referred for incoming and outgoing DDI mapping. If Route on First Destination checkbox is selected, the call will always land on the first station of the MSN number, else if it's not selected, then it will be routed to the identified target extension. Here, the checkbox is not selected. Click Submit to save. Proceeding toward the last requirement where the DDI number 341662242 and 341662243 are to be mapped with flexible number 333 and 343 respectively. The programming on the T1E1 port parameters is not to be altered. Next, program the DDI routing outgoing reference table. In it, all the fields are similar as the previous scenario except the DDI routing reference ID. Assign value 04 and 05 for DDI routing reference ID to program the two remaining DDI numbers respectively. Click Submit to save. Click on the DDI routing reference ID, which will navigate to the DDI routing table. In the DDI routing reference ID corresponding to the table ID 04 and 05, assign 04 and 05. In the Start DDI number, program the DDI number 242 and 243 corresponding to the table ID 04 and 05 respectively. In Total DDI number, program 1 for both DDI numbers as only one DDI number is to be mapped. In the DDI number of digit program, value is 2. In port type, give flexible num. In the Start DDI flexible number, program the extension number corresponding to the DDI numbers assigned, that is 333 and 343 respectively. Click Submit to save. Now again go to the T1E1 port parameters and click on the IC reference ID for any of the time zones which will navigate to the DDI routing incoming reference table. On the DDI routing incoming reference table, assign IC reference ID as 01 corresponding to the table ID for 04 and 05 as this value is assigned on the T1E1 port parameters page. Keep channel count as 30. In DDI routing reference ID, assign ID as 04 and 05 with respect to the table IDs. The same DDI routing table will be referred for incoming and outgoing DDI mapping. Click Submit to save. This is how the DDI mapping is to be configured with the above given scenario. Hope you are clear with the DDI routing. Thank you for watching this video. For further queries, please contact Matrix Technical Support Team.